Welcome back to the channel, Flow Jedis. My name is Sumedh Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy. I'm a flow state coach, a flow state specialist, and I'm here to help you feel your best and perform your best. Now we've got to understand something, guys, okay? What is the secret to avoid overthinking? The secret to avoid overthinking is to understand that you are not your thoughts, number one. Okay? You are not your thoughts. You keep identifying with your thoughts, right? You keep saying, I am sad. No, you're not. You're feeling sadness, okay? It's temporary. It's an emotion. But you keep harboring it like a roommate, whereas it's supposed to be a guest. You see? So a lot of people aren't even sad, bro. They just keep perpetuating themselves in a sad state, and their environment reminds them that they're sad. And, other people have pity for you and so forth, and that keeps you in that little pity party, right? Like that perpetual trap of misery where you can't grow, and you like feeling that, other people are at least caring about you in some way. And so you're perpetually staying in this bad cycle, this bad loop, okay? Now, what you really want to do is you want to create a pattern interrupt for yourself. Shock yourself with something so unique, so spontaneous, that it changes your worldview. That it challenges the pre-existing notions for you. Okay? I like to ask myself 3 questions. Now, I usually give this to my students, okay? I call all you guys my students because this is really more so a teaching rather than, anything else, right? I'm not coaching you guys right now. I'm teaching in these videos. So sometimes it's not overthinking. It's just you haven't found the solution to your problem yet. And your mind's autopilot response is to just keep searching. Just keep searching for a solution. Even when it's in the background, it's still searching. And that's how overthinking starts. That's how rumination starts to happen. When you zoom in on that one thought, it's like you're on the information highway, right, in your mind. And you're looking at the highway full of all these cars, and you see this one pink Lambo, right? And you zoom in on the pink Lambo, and all the other cars kind of disappear in your mind. That's overthinking, you see? So what you're doing is you're attaching and you're personalizing to that thought so much that causes a thought form over time. And this could be the secret to, connecting with certain higher entities in your mind. They might be self-generated, you see. And as a mystic scientist, I understand this. McDonald's is an egregore, right? Apple products, that's an egregore, right? And so the more we think about these different brands and commercials and they come up in usual conversation, that's why when you name something, you've got to name it that people can pull it up in regular conversation, okay? Like, what the hell is a Google, right? Some would say it's like a number, okay, Google Pupillion or something. But even then, we don't know where that came from, that random word, right? But that random word is memorable. Yahoo! What the fuck is a Yahoo? Okay, bing! Okay, are these all sound effects? But then you start to understand it's just a word, it's just a syllable, it's just a sound, you see? And if you go into a lot of these logos that these brand names and all across the board, are using, there's a lot of symbolism in the logos, okay? And I don't want to reveal too much here because, again, that's for my path working. You got to just remember, keep yourself protected. Keep your mental space, your mental database to have some kind of a cyber security, okay? In your own mental space against all this AI and this strange tech, okay? Bring the alarm, bring the alarm, bring the alarm. See, to stop overthinking, you gotta understand that once you conclude the thought and you set up a proper self-talk with yourself and a frame control with yourself, it's gonna impact you. So the 3 questions again are, is this effective? Is this real or accurate, this thought? Or did someone sell me this reality? And the third one being, where am I? Am I in the past or am I in the future? Now, these 3 questions are like pinpointing questions that tell you, this is where I am. I'm in the present moment. I'm not in my past and I'm not in my future. That's actually not my reality. I'm either future projecting something or stuck in past memory of mine that hasn't really reached any closure, right? What you're really looking for is closure, an understanding, a certainty. So if it doesn't make sense right now, I want you to try this. Make sense of it and move on. Just decide, this is what it means to me right now. It can change later, okay? Once more facts are revealed to you and so forth. But for right now, you need to stop hesitating and holding back your life from living, okay? You're holding back from life and living based on these irrational fears, okay? That something might happen. Nothing's gonna happen, okay? You are making up a storyline in your mind, assuming that this is how it's gonna go down, and you're overthinking about that bad strategy, okay? You're using your imagination poorly. I wanted to answer this question of, if you are going to join a path working like Primal Sutra, and you come with a lot of baggage, let's say, how do we deal with that baggage, first and foremost, okay? What if you think that channeling is haram? What if you think that, and it does say that, in the Quran, but I have my own responses to this and understandings, okay? In the Bible, it might say that don't trust anything besides the Lord and so forth, and we get very scared. We get very confused. There's a lot of fear of punishment, right? In a lot of religions. There's this resistance towards doing something immoral or sinning, right? In a sense. However, it's all in one's perspective, right? Like, take the example of Rasputin, right? Who kind of went into this weird sex cult, and he thought that he would need to have sex first in order to then redeem himself, and through redemption he gets the ultimate bliss and the salvation of the Lord, right? Like, and he took it in his own perspective, right? In that particular way, in that path working. And I find that weird, first and foremost, but also fascinating, right? Because it's like, whoa, that man interpreted that data very differently, right? And that's all we are, guys. We're just interpretation software. But what if your interpretation software is corrupt? And that's what keeps happening. They call them cognitive distortions. If you became aware of all the cognitive distortions, you can just Google this, okay? Google it, okay? Whatever that means. Google it, okay? And I want you to just try understanding. My advice to you is, what if you're scared of faith? What if you're scared of faith on this path? And when I realize my mind is such a savior, when there is nothing there, oh, you can't compare. I would consult some scholars, okay, in your own religion and in your own field, okay? Consult some Islamic scholars, some Christian scholars, some Buddhist scholars, okay? Seek knowledge from people who specialize in those particular teachings. I'm not telling you to come to Primal Sutra with that information, right? Because Primal Sutra is a collective that works with the different groups of all of humanity, right? So no matter what your religion, caste, creed, ethnicity is, we will heal you, right? However, it's not like you are broken in the first place. You just come with a lot of baggage, and we're just cleansing that out, right? So you can go and do your dharma. You see what I'm saying? Like, you are already perfect as you are, but you have all these past storylines, all this dogma, all this stored stuff, right? This gunk that doesn't belong there. And that's what's holding back your flow state, you see? The next thing you want to do is personal introspection. Reflect on your intentions, your actions, and the impact that you actually have on yourself and on others. Consider whether any of your practices align with the total practices of that particular religion, right? The next thing you want to do is contextualize the beliefs. The context, because different sects within that religion or different groups within that religion, like subgroups within those groups, it goes so deep. And so, yeah, man, that goes into many different schools of thought. Like, for instance, the Bon religion, right before like the Tibetan Buddhists came along and the Vajrayana and so forth, there was this religion called Bon where they would actually summon and channel deities and beings, okay? So this was completely normal. It was normalized back then, okay? I mean, there are instances of ancient yogis even doing this. I mean, some of my recent clients are having these different mystical experiences that they're sharing with me nowadays, you know? And I don't find that surprising at all, I've had very trippy experiences in my life that can confirm that there are indeed greater things going on out there that we don't know about. We can only be dragged along for this ride, in a sense, okay? Look at the different beliefs, look at the different guidelines within that particular framework. I would always strive for practices that enhance your inner peace and uphold some ethical values. Even in the beings of the Primal Sutra family that we work with, we understand the ethics of this, meaning that we're not going to work with a being who has harmful intent in mind. Okay? Take into account, I mean, the different spirits that you like and that you want to work with from different pantheons, because I know someone asked me about this, okay? Can you mix spirits from different pantheons? Yes, you can, and we are doing it successfully, okay? But start to understand that some of these energies might not know of each other, so they're going to have to take a nurturing period to get acquainted to certain energies, right? And so let's say you take Thor from a specific pantheon and you introduce it from Indra. They're both the same frequency of that lightning thunder. However, they come from their own lineages, right? They come from their own families. And so they're going to connect with each other very, very differently. They might connect in terms of their element, like that example that I just gave. But start to understand that early on in my process, when I was calling forth, let's say, much more darker energies, I would understand that I would have to have an angelic version of that darker energy to come in and give me the protection and the healing to hold that in space and actually have some sense of control over that being, because demons are out of control. Let's just say that, okay, in a sense. So ultimately, it's very crucial to engage in social dialogue around topics. It can guide you towards creating your own framework around your own beliefs. And remember, everyone's spiritual path looks very, very unique. No two paths are going to overlap, okay? No two paths are going to overlap that much. Okay, listen, number one, if you're having topics about channeling with other people, they're calling you crazy. Number one, respectful communication, okay? Just give them respect, give them some empathy, okay? You don't know what they've been through or what they're coming from with, a lot of baggage or a lot of dogma of their own. Maybe their own family convinced them that this is horrible and that what you're doing is a sin and you know, haram and so forth. So definitely share your personal experiences. I think it's very, very interesting when I hear of such mystical encounters that I've heard from people, you know, all across the world, and being open and honest about your practices, you know, emphasizing, you know, personal growth and so forth. Now, understand if you're living in a very, very restricted society and community that don't allow you to express anything, you know, maybe you'll be put in jail or something like that. I understand that could be a threat to your survival. And that could put you on to a bit of an edge or a fight or flight mode anytime that you feel like you're doing these practices, you know, behind the scenes or and so forth. I understand that can create a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. However, I would say do some inner work around that, brother or sister, man or woman watching, you know, do your research around that before getting into it, okay? For channeling, showing that gamma waves are impacting our state of consciousness and how much we can let in and allow from another source, you know, coming through. So that fast, quick brainwave pattern, you know, gives us these great downloads, epiphanies, and ideas, and where are these coming from, right, in a sense. So I don't know if you've ever listened to gamma waves when you study or when you're focusing or something like this, but I've noticed that there is definitely something happening, and that's how we can connect with, you know, my crown chakra deity, who is a very, very high frequency. He's like a starseed being, okay? There's education on the topic, okay? We gotta share values and beliefs that start off as a foundational blueprint. I mean, you gotta really give yourself patience and time, right? Changing your deeply ingrained beliefs about your own upbringing or cultural, you know, conditioning is gonna take time, man. It needs some time to really, like, you know, And it's okay if people don't understand your beliefs, okay? I've gotten to that point of acceptance, man. I accept the fact that some people are just not gonna like me and not gonna, support what I stand for in this world. I get that. You gotta focus on your own growth and seek like-minded connections, okay? People who can support your spiritual path and shed that old baggage. Explore these things from different multiple viewpoints, okay? There is no one-size-fits-all model for exposing your own religious baggage, okay? There isn't. There really isn't, and a lot of people, especially in this generation, are very against these kinds of traditional, ritual things. And they're kind of like, why are you doing that, bro? Like they have that attitude towards it. It's like they don't see the benefits of actually doing any of this stuff, But it's also, they're like an outsider zooming in on this thing, thinking it's a bad thing, right? Foundation and awareness, month 1. Energy alignment and embodiment, month 2. Ritual and symbolism, month 3. This is how we're setting up the curriculum. If you want to have the whole idea of the curriculum, shoot me a message. I can shoot you over the details of that. But that's only available to the Primal Sutra adepts, okay, community. And there's certain things in life that are just unique to you. You get what I mean? Like, I can't for sure know that what your subconscious mind is going to pick out as you read some anime or read some book, because as I've begun this spiritual journey, I start to find answers in the most unexpected places. I get little nudges like, open this book, go to that page. And I'm getting guided, right? And it's a little bit weird and a little bit intense, and I get that too. And it's this understanding of like, hey man, let me reflect on this, Let me actually sit down and allow myself to not overthink so much, but realize and recognize what is the truth of the situation, okay? If I removed all judgments, all assumptions, all random conditioning, if I didn't have to impress anybody, okay, what would I do? Who would I need to be? How would I be? Okay? Very, very important questions. This questioning work that stops you in your tracks and makes you go inwards and just reflect is like basically the magic key to flow state. Basically, if we create a magical turnkey system to your own flow state excellence and brilliance, and people come up to you and they start asking you like, whoa, you're just so different, man. I don't know what's going on with you, but you're just kind of glowing a bit. You're more confident, you're more authentic, and what's going on with you, right? You're gonna get people coming up to you like that, and you gotta own that, man. You were chosen because you chose to be, you see. Now, I have a very non-mechanical approach, but I understand as I do more work with Ryan G that understanding the mechanics and structure of something and having it very organized is important, specifically when it comes down to data, information, and the way that it's split. I mean, ultimately, every man wants to be like a rock and roll type of god, right? Like just going through life, like beasting, just doing their thing, dominating life. And my question to you is, why can't you be that? Do you feel like you're too old, or do you feel like you're too... I feel like you can do anything, man. If you put your mind to it, right? If you put your mind, heart, soul, gut into it, there's no limiting you, okay, in what you can accomplish. But it's that you are out of alignment taking action, and that's not going to manifest fast. It's going to be clunky, it's going to make you slower, it's going to make you disingenuous, you're going to lose trust in yourself and your own path working, right? So the first stage is just walking your talk, man. Just start doing that, man. And that's going to take you so much further in your overthinking. Just give it your all, you're holding back and you're kind of questioning things. Give it your all, like go in, it's like, boom, I'm here. Yeah, that's what it's really about. And this fuel, this energy that you're feeling inside your system right now, it needs to be cherished, okay? So, go out into nature, do a little bit of stretching today, connect with yourself, connect with your Mother Earth, Mother Nature, matter, right? Mater, mother, okay? physical matter, and Father Time. Okay, Mother Nature, Father Time. Get this. Okay, and I think from those we also get the understanding the feminine embodiment is so important for her to nurture her feminine, and the masculine time is important, right? It's like the discipline, right, to construct something. That's how I was at least looking at it. That's kind of cool, man. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little bit random, kind of went all over the place, but I think I hopefully answered a bunch of your questions in relation to like what to do when you're feeling like kind of, you know, held back by your own beliefs of the past. And you know, you just got to work on shedding that skin, like that's not you, and if that is you, then you better show that. You know, you got to be committed to that if that is you, right? And you got to make some changes in your life. That's that, man. Let's get it. Boom. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. May the flow be with you. Us.